quick hi in the comments and let us know where you're tuning in from. Also, if you have any suggestions for us to make the channel better, please let us know. Now let's start with the story. My name's Jared, 27, and honestly, I never thought I'd be sharing my story like this, but here we are. I just need to get it off my chest. So, I've been with my fiancée, Ava, also 27, for 9 years. Yep, 9. We got together back when we were clueless freshmen in college. You know those relationships where it feels like every cheesy rom-com line suddenly makes sense? That was us. Or at least I thought it was. We met at this completely pointless campus event. I was volunteering to set up chairs. I know, big shocker. I was that dork actually signing up to move furniture on a Friday night. Meanwhile, Ava showed up with her friend group. She was so shy back then, barely audible, kind of orbiting her friends like a lost puppy. But somehow we ended up talking about the most random crap, who knows what, probably the cafeteria's suspicious chicken nuggets or something, and we just clicked. Couple weeks later, we started dating. What drew me to Ava the most? It wasn't just how pretty she was, though believe me, she was pretty. It was her kindness. Like genuine, straight out of a Disney movie kindness. She wasn't flashy, didn't give a crap about designer bags or fancy vacations. She wanted a simple, happy life. Hey Jared, want to stay in and watch movies instead of going to that foam party? Music to my ears. She'd get excited about the tiniest stuff, like if she spotted a cute dog on the street, you'd think she won the lottery. Or if she found a new coffee shop with $2 refills, it was like she discovered a new planet. And she used to be so sweet. The woman was basically a Hallmark card come to life. She'd leave little notes for me if she left the house early. You know, hope your day doesn't suck. With a doodle of a smiley face. She'd surprise me with my favorite snacks, like I was some medieval king she had to appease. Or she'd just text me, thinking of you, in the middle of the day, and I'd grin like an idiot. Things were good. No, scratch that. They were great. We graduated, moved in together, got decent jobs, did that whole we're real adults now routine. And then I proposed. Nothing over the top, no skywriting or flash mobs. Just a nice dinner at home, candles, pasta, the works. Then I pulled out the ring and dropped to one knee. She cried. I cried. Everyone with functioning tear ducts would have cried. It was perfect. That's when everything started changing. But me? I was too dumb to see it coming. Right after I proposed, Ava hits me with, let's wait to set a wedding date until I hit my goal. Okay, sure. I figured she meant, like, saving up money or picking a good venue. Nope. She meant fitting into her dream wedding dress. She wanted to look perfect for the photos. Fair enough. Everyone wants their big day Insta-worthy. So I was all in. I had her back, no questions asked. I stocked the kitchen with enough kale and chia seeds to terrify a normal human, made sure her workout clothes were on point, and even listened to her talk about calories, macros, micros, carb cycling, and whatever the hell else. I even tried doing some of her workouts, but let's be real, I'm a powerlifting guy. Built for moving heavy things, not hopping around in spandex trying to activate my glutes. I'm basically rocking that strongman bear mode vibe, which Ava always used to love. She'd hug me and sigh, I feel so safe with you. But then she joined this fancy gym downtown, a place so bougie they probably charge you for breathing, and that's where she met Jill. Jill, the trainer. Oh, Jill. At first, Jill seemed harmless, all motivational and bubbly, spitting out Pinterest quotes about discipline and success. Ava would come home after training with her, buzzing like a caffeinated bee. Babe, I hit a PR on squats. That's awesome, Ava. Meanwhile, I'm in the corner trying to not choke on my protein shake. The weight started coming off fast. Like, shockingly fast. And okay, good for her, but with every pound she dropped, something felt off. Ava changed. She got more distant, like I'd been left on the cutting room floor while she edited herself a new life. She was spending hours at that gym, texting Jill about meal prep, exercise splits, how to transform yourself into a Marvel superhero, I don't know. Then came the comments. Maybe you should try eating what I'm eating. Sure, Ava. I'm sure kale and chicken breast will fuel my 400-pound deadlift. Or, Jill says couples who work out together stay together. Uh-huh. And I bet Jill also thinks couples who sell their kidneys together stay together, too. But I tried to let it roll off my back. Tried. Then one night, we're getting ready for bed, and Ava's checking herself out in the mirror, which was basically her new hobby. She dropped about 50 pounds at that point. She was just staring at her reflection like she was studying a museum exhibit, and then, super casual, without even turning to look at me, she goes, you know, guys at the gym have started noticing me. Like she was announcing tomorrow's weather report. I laughed it off, tossed out some dumb joke, but man, the way she said it, it twisted my gut into a balloon animal. She said next, it's crazy how many options there are once you get in shape. Options. Yeah, that word stuck in my head like a rusty nail. Like I was just some placeholder option in a clearance bin while she got ready for the premium shelf. After that, I started noticing other changes, too. Her Instagram posts. Holy hell, they went full thirst trap mode. Gym selfies, progress pics, flexing in every mirror she could find. The captions were all inspirational, but the comment section? A total frat party. Random dudes dropping fire emojis, heart eyes, and enough drooling gifs to flood a server. When I asked her about it, she just brushed it off. It's all part of building my brand, Jared. Building her brand. Sure. Apparently, that brand was Fit Goddess with an OnlyFans preview feed. Our regular date nights turned into a goddamn photo shoot. We'd sit down to a nice meal, and before I could even take a bite, she was repositioning the plate, turning on her phone's flashlight, stacking napkins to get the perfect angle. Babe, hold your hand like this so it looks candid. By the time she was done, my burger was colder than my enthusiasm for this influencer nonsense. But hey, I tried to be supportive. People get excited when they're working toward a goal, right? They get a little obsessed, a little tunnel vision. It'll pass, I told myself. Spoiler, it did not pass. She even started dressing differently, and not just because she lost weight. I'm talking full-on provocative, like crop tops to family dinners. Babe, you sure you want to wear that to meet my mom? It's empowering, Jared. You wouldn't get it. Okay then. I guess potato salad and side jug cleavage are a power combo these days. But I kept telling myself it was a phase. She was proud of her progress. She'd settle back to normal once the hype calmed down. Wrong again. By month 8 of what she kept calling her fitness journey, complete with motivational hashtags, she'd lost over 70 pounds. Like, she looked straight up Victoria's Secret catalog level hot. No lies there. But her personality? That changed even more than her waistline. Remember Jill? The motivational, Instagram-loving trainer? Yeah, turns out she wasn't just a trainer. She was running this whole women's empowerment group at the gym, which sounded awesome in theory, until I heard what their brand of empowerment actually meant. Basically, it was ditch your loser boyfriend and upgrade your life. Jill was like the cult leader of some glow-up and leave-him movement. And Ava? She started quoting Jill like gospel. Know your worth, Jared. Never settle, Jared. And right about then, she started critiquing everything about me. She never used to do that, you know, pick at me. Suddenly, it was constant. You dress like a dad, Jared. Oh, okay. Sorry I don't rock gym shark booty shorts to the grocery store. Then it was my workouts. Powerlifting is going to make you fat. Right. Because moving hundreds of pounds is clearly a threat to humanity. Even my food, she went after my protein. No one needs that much protein, Jared. Okay, Ava, but if the zombie apocalypse hits, I will be the one carrying you to safety, thanks to all that protein. And it never stopped. Every day, there was some brand new, sparkling critique on the Jared improvement plan. And the worst part? She'd do it in front of people, like when her new gym squad came over for dinner. Which, by the way, was a new thing now. Every dinner had to be this perfectly arranged, color-coded, macro-friendly Pinterest meal, basically cold by the time we could eat. Then she'd launch right in. Jared's letting himself go while I'm glowing up. Cue laughter from the peanut gallery while I sat there pretending I didn't want to crawl under the table. And then the phone weirdness started. She was suddenly getting a million DMs from random dudes, which she called networking. Sure. And I'm the tooth fairy. Next thing, she changed her phone password. Totally normal, right? Started taking her phone literally everywhere, even into the shower. Ava, you bringing that thing to wash its hair too? She'd just roll her eyes. Real subtle. One day I was doing laundry and found this microscopic gym outfit in her bag, like Barbie-level tiny. I held it up, genuinely confused, because no way you could squat in that thing without a wardrobe malfunction. Hey, what's this for? She practically jumped out of her skin. It's for a special project with Jill. Uh-huh. Sure, Ava. Special project. I didn't think too much of it at the time. Wish I had. Things at the gym just kept getting worse. She'd spend hours there. Hours. Way longer than any actual workout should take unless you were trying to fight Thanos. Always had an excuse, extra cardio, posing practice, meetings with Jill about business opportunities. Weekends, too, which used to be our time. No more. Apparently weekends were for, I don't know, empowerment synergy hustle queen boss babe nonsense. And the social media stuff? Off the rails. Every post had to be perfect. I'd have to take 50 photos of her, minimum. Jared, these are all terrible. Well, sorry, Annie Leibovitz. Maybe you should set up the tripod next time. Then she'd post these motivational captions that were basically shade directed straight at me. Don't let anyone hold you back. Reach your full potential. Yeah, Ava, I can read between the hashtags. And then one day I noticed she wasn't wearing her engagement ring anymore. At first, I figured maybe she took it off for the gym. Understandable. I guess you don't want to bench press a diamond into your forehead. But then I realized she wasn't wearing it anywhere anymore. So one day I finally asked her about the missing engagement ring. You know, like a normal fiancé might. Hey, you're not wearing your ring anymore. She didn't even look up from her phone. Doesn't really match my gym aesthetic. Oh, of course. Silly me. I should have known the gym aesthetic is apparently single and ready to mingle. I tried to laugh it off, made a lame joke. Oh, so your aesthetic is single now. She just smirked, barely glancing at me. Something like that. Yeah, that hit different. Like a gut punch from a heavyweight champ. I didn't say anything, but deep down, man, something twisted hard in my stomach. Like she'd already packed her bags in her mind and was just biding her time until she could actually walk out. But the final straw? The grand finale? Oh, it was a doozy. One morning, I was in the kitchen flipping protein pancakes. Yes, protein pancakes, because God forbid I serve her normal carbs. Trying to be supportive, right? And Ava, completely deadpan, drops this on me while scrolling through her phone like she's reading the weather. You know I could replace you so easily now. I froze mid-flip, spatula in hand, like my brain blue-screened. Come again? It was so casual, like she was reminding me to buy milk. I set the spatula down, trying not to hulk out. What do you mean by that? She just laughed, waving her hand. Oh, come on, don't get all serious. I just mean I have options now. Options. Again with the options. I repeated it back, flat as a pancake. Options. Since when is this a job listing, Ava? She smirked, sipped her iced coffee with that influencer-level confidence. Relax, Jared. I just mean things are different now. Like this guy Mark at the gym. He's a personal trainer and runs his own business. That's the kind of ambition I need in my life. I just blinked at her. Like, are you hearing yourself? Ambition, Ava? We literally bought a house together last year. I'm a software engineer. I do pretty well for us. She just shrugged. Shrugged. Like I'd asked her to pick a Netflix show. Yeah, but I don't know. It's different. Mark has that hustle, you know? That drive. I stared at her, waiting for the punchline, waiting for her to crack a grin and say gotcha. But she didn't. She just sat there, completely unbothered, like she hadn't just basically told me to my face that I was suddenly not enough for her. That was the moment something in me just shifted. I couldn't even put my finger on it right then, but holy crap, I knew this wasn't a joke. It was straight up disrespect, served cold with a side of iced coffee. And then my friends started noticing, which is never a good sign. My buddy Tyler pulled me aside at one of our group hangouts. Dude, Ava's acting different, man, he told me. Real serious, like he was about to stage an intervention. She was basically flirting with that guy from her gym right in front of you. I just waved it off. Nah, Tyler, she's just being friendly. Yeah, friendly, Jared. Sure. But deep down, I knew Tyler wasn't wrong. Something was rotten in the state of protein pancake land. Even my mom, my mother, who only ever worries about whether I'm eating enough vegetables, started asking questions. You know it's bad when your mom notices. She came over for Sunday dinner, which Ava apparently no longer had time for, by the way, and spent the entire meal scrolling on her phone like she was trying to mine crypto off Instagram. Didn't say 2 words to anyone, not even when my mom tried to talk about wedding plans. Mom gave me that look. You know, the one that says, "Are you sure about this?" Without saying a word. At that point, I was honestly wondering if the Ava I knew was ever coming back. Or if this was just who she was now. Every day it felt like she was slipping further away, not just from me, but from us. From everything we'd built together. The inside jokes, the lazy Sunday mornings, the way her eyes would light up when we talked about our future. Now she seemed to be living on another planet. One where I was just a piece of the background, like the weird extra in her influencer highlight reel. And yeah, I started to doubt. Doubt if we even had a future anymore. If I was just clinging to a ghost of what we used to be. But then, and this was the worst part, I'd catch these tiny glimpses of the old Ava. Like when she'd absent-mindedly grab my hand in the car, or when she'd actually laugh at one of my terrible dad jokes. And it would trick me, make me think. Maybe, just maybe, she'll snap out of this. That the person I fell in love with was still in there somewhere, just lost. Then out of nowhere, I get a text one morning from Ava's sister, Sophie. Hey Jared, can we meet up? It's important. Sophie and I always got along. She's younger than Ava, 25, but way more down to earth. So we met at this tiny coffee shop near my work. You know, the kind with wobbly tables and burnt espresso that tries to pass itself off as artisanal. Sophie looked like she was going to crawl right out of her own skin, fidgeting with her coffee sleeve like she was trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. Finally, she just blurts it out. Jared, Ava's been saying really terrible stuff about me to our family. I blinked. What? Like what? Sophie looked down at her latte, voice all shaky. She's been telling everyone how embarrassed she is to have a fat sister. I almost choked on my Americano. Sophie, you're not even fat. She gave the sad half laugh. I know. I'm normal. But she says she can't have me in her wedding photos because it would ruin her aesthetic. Her aesthetic? Oh, kill me now. But that wasn't even the real reason Sophie wanted to talk. Nope. She had something way worse loaded up. See, Sophie works in IT. She knows her way around a computer like a digital ninja. She'd noticed Ava making weird excuses about money lately, like she needed extra cash for gym equipment and special training. Special training, huh? Sophie did some digging and found Ava's secret OnlyFans account. Not just flexing in a sports bra, either explicit stuff. The kind of stuff you do not want to find out your fiancé is putting online for random gym bros. And get this, she was using our house. Our freaking house for some of these photos. That weird tiny gym outfit I found in the laundry. Yeah, not for deadlifts. My brain just flatlined. Sophie kept going, bless her. Jared, I'm pretty sure that trainer Jill is behind this, she said, practically whispering even though no one was listening. She's recruiting girls from the gym to start these OnlyFans accounts and then takes a cut of their earnings. She calls it female empowerment. Empowerment. Of course. Everything's empowerment these days. Ava had fallen for it hook, line, and neon sports bra. I sat there staring into my coffee, wondering if maybe the barista had spiked it with hallucinogens, because there was no way this was real life. Sophie pulled out her phone and showed me some of the tamer posts, mostly gym selfies, sure, but with these borderline adult movie captions about private coaching sessions. The account had been up for months, right around when Ava changed her phone password. The worst part? In her profile bio, Ava wrote that she was single. Single. Just poof. 9 years together, 2 years engaged, and suddenly I'm wiped out like a bad typo. Sophie wasn't done either. She told me Ava had been going to these photo shoots at the gym after hours. That's what all those late-night training sessions were. All those business meetings with Jill, they were planning more content, finding ways to get more subscribers. I looked at Sophie, still trying to wrap my head around all of this, and asked her straight out, "Why are you telling me this now?" She burst into tears right there in that overpriced coffee shop, practically sobbing into her latte. "I can't watch Ava destroy her life like this," she said, voice shaking. "She's changed so much, Jared. I don't even recognize her anymore. She used to bake cookies for homeless shelters. Now she's posting links to her stuff in random guys' DMs. My brain was screaming, cookies to custom content? That's quite the career pivot. Sophie wasn't done. She showed me screenshots of Ava's private Instagram messages. Hundreds of them. With random guys, a lot of them married, some even bragging about their kids. Ava was selling them custom content, which, yeah, I knew exactly what she meant. I felt like I was going to hurl my coffee all over the table. All those times she'd been glued to her phone during family dinners, ignoring everyone while tapping away like she was closing million-dollar deals. Turns out that was just business, all right. Shady business. Sophie kept showing me more messages between Ava and Jill, planning this whole side hustle empire. Jill hyping her up like some dollar store Tony Robbins. "You're too hot to be stuck with a tech nerd." And Ava agreeing, straight up, "Yeah, I'm ready to upgrade." Upgrade. Like I was a 2012 MacBook or something. Then Sophie scrolled to a message from 6 months ago where Ava was basically plotting her escape. "I just need to hit 50,000 followers, then I can start pulling in real money. Until then it's not smart to rush things." 50,000 followers. That was her exit strategy? Then another gem. "I'm stuck playing house with a loser, but at least he pays for everything so I can focus on my goals." Loser. Nice. That one stung. She even admitted she was biding her time until she found someone better. I read those words and felt like someone drop-kicked my chest. I wasn't just an afterthought. I was a stepping stone. A warm body holding the line until she cashed in. Sophie kept apologizing over and over, saying she should have told me sooner, but honestly, I was just grateful someone finally ripped the blinders off. I went back to work after that, but it was like my brain had short-circuited. Couldn't focus, couldn't think straight. All I kept thinking about was all those nights. All those nights Ava was at the gym. All those times she was smiling at her phone. It all clicked, like a sick joke finally revealing the punchline. That night, I couldn't bring myself to go home. The idea of walking through the door and seeing her there, acting like everything was perfectly normal, like she hadn't basically bulldozed our entire life together, made me want to hurl. So I crashed at Tyler's place. Tyler, bless him, tried to act chill about it, but I'm pretty sure he hid every sharp object in the apartment. I just lay there on his lumpy futon, staring at the ceiling, trying to process the absolute nuclear meltdown of my life. Sophie kept texting me to make sure I wasn't about to do something crazy, but honestly, I was so numb I barely even answered. Instead, I spent the entire night scrolling through every single screenshot Sophie had sent me, eyes burning holes in my phone screen, hoping that maybe, just maybe, I'd blink and wake up from this dumpster fire of a dream. But no, the more I looked, the worse it got. I found Ava's backup Instagram, which, shocker, I had no clue even existed. And yeah, it was bad. Way worse than anything she'd ever post on her main account. Like she was basically auctioning herself off. The comments were a straight-up thirst festival, random dudes drooling all over her posts. Gorgeous queen, you deserve better. I'd worship you every day. And the worst part? She was replying. Winky faces, flirty jokes, acting like I never even existed. Like 9 years of memories could just be nuked by a couple protein shakes and a ring light. My stomach twisted into something unrecognizable, and for the first time, the heartbreak burned off into something else, finality. I wasn't just hurt. I was done. So the next morning, I decided to go home. Figured she'd be asleep since weekday mornings were her precious rest day. Except she was in the kitchen, clattering around making her protein shake, staring at her phone like it was oxygen. Didn't even look up when I walked in. Where were you last night? She asked, eyes still glued to the screen. I took a breath that felt like it was going to rip my lungs open. Had a really interesting talk with Sophie yesterday. Her head snapped up so fast I thought she might give herself whiplash. The look on her face? Priceless. Like she knew exactly which bomb was about to drop. What did that jealous bitch say about me now? Ava tried to play it cool, but I could hear it. Her voice was shaking. I looked straight at her, trying to keep my voice calm even though my hands were shaking. I don't know, Ava. Maybe we should talk about your OnlyFans career. Or all those DMs you've been sending. Or hey, what about those special photo shoots with Jill? She froze, then tried to play it off with this half-laugh, half-scoff. I don't know what you're talking about. Sophie's just making stuff up because she's jealous of my success. Success? I actually laughed. You mean scamming random guys online while pretending to be single? Using our house as your own personal adult movie studio. That kind of success. Boom. That landed. She switched gears so fast I swear I heard the clutch grind. Her eyes got all watery, her lip quivering like she was auditioning for a soap opera. I only did it for us, Jared. To make extra money for the wedding. Right. Oh really? I shot back. Is that why your profile says you're single? Her face went red, then she exploded. That's just marketing. You don't understand how this works. Jill says. Oh, I was so sick of hearing about Jill. Jill says, Jill says, Jill says. That's all I've heard for months, Ava. Well, guess what? I saw your messages with Jill too, about how I'm just a boring tech nerd, about how you need to upgrade. That shut her up for a second. Her eyes darted around the room like she was looking for the emergency exit. Then she took a breath and switched to pure Ice Queen mode, got this weird smirk on her face. Fine. You want the truth? Yes, I have an OnlyFans. Yes, I've been talking to other guys. And yes, I probably could do better than you now. Look at me, I'm hot. I've got options. What do you have? A dad bod and a coding job. I felt something burn in my chest, but I kept my voice steady. I have self-respect, I told her, which is apparently more than you've got right now. That set her off. She started screaming like I'd insulted her firstborn. You're just trying to control me. You're insecure because I'm finally confident and successful. Oh, I had to laugh again, because the absurdity was too much. Successful? Ava, you're taking half-naked pics in our guest bathroom and calling it success? That's what you think you're worth. She puffed up like a peacock, practically vibrating with rage. At least I'm doing something with my life. You're stuck in the same boring routine. I'm building something. I've got followers. I've got fans. I couldn't help it. You've got guys paying $5 to see your bathroom selfies, Ava. That's not success. That's sad. She shrieked like a kettle about to blow and launched her protein shake at me. Missed, but that sludge of blended berries and overpriced protein powder exploded all over the wall behind me, making a huge mess. Get out? I told her, voice dead calm, which was kind of terrifying even to me. Pack your stuff and get out. She glared at me, clutching her little shaker bottle like she was going to toss it again. This is my house too, she snapped. I actually laughed, for real, a full-on, slightly unhinged laugh. Actually, no. The mortgage is in my name. You wanted to wait until after the wedding to add yours, remember? Guess that worked out pretty well for me. That shut her up for a second, and then the waterworks started. Crocodile tears, Oscar-worthy. You can't do this to me, she sobbed. Where am I supposed to go? I shrugged. Maybe ask one of your subscribers. Or hey, maybe Jill has a spare room, since she's so invested in your success and all. She looked about ready to collapse, but started packing anyway, furiously throwing her neon leggings and sports bras into bags while furiously texting someone. I'd put money on it being Jill. Every now and then, she'd look over at me with these big wounded eyes, like I was supposed to break down and beg her to stay. Newsflash, that ship sailed hard. For 2 hours I watched her pack, refusing to flinch, even though inside I felt like I'd been ripped in half. Finally, She stood at the front door with her bags stacked around her like she was about to move to a new planet. One last Hail Mary. You're making a huge mistake, she sniffled. I'm the best thing that ever happened to you. I took a breath so deep I thought my lungs might split and looked her dead in the eye. No, I told her. The best thing that ever happened to me was Sophie showing me those screenshots. Now get out. She stood there for a second, jaw working like she wanted to throw another tantrum, then stomped out. I didn't waste a second, called a locksmith as soon as the door clicked shut, changed every lock, every code, nuked her key from orbit. And then I sat down at the kitchen table, in front of the protein shake splatter still on the wall, and cried for what felt like an hour straight. 9 years of my life. Gone. Sophie kept checking in, worried I'd be a complete wreck, which, yeah, fair. With Ava finally out of my sight, I had to start dealing with the fallout. Canceling the wedding was brutal, had to eat the deposits for the venue, the caterer, the photographer, the whole shebang. Worth every damn penny not to go through with it. The worst call was to her parents. Her mom picked up, and I had to tell her, hey, there's not going to be a wedding. Ava's been living a double life. Her mom started crying so hard I could barely understand her. Then her dad got on the phone and straight up apologized to me, which was somehow even worse. He admitted they'd seen Ava changing, but hadn't wanted to interfere. And then, right when I thought things couldn't get messier, Sophie texted me later that night. Ava just came here screaming, said I ruined her life. I swear, I nearly dropped my phone when Sophie texted me she tried to hit me, but I closed the door. I called her right away, heart pounding, and I could hear Ava absolutely losing her mind in the background. You stupid fat bitch. You ruined everything. Great. Peak sisterly love. Sophie was pretty shaken up, her voice all wobbly while she filled me in. Ava had been ranting about how her plan was to keep me around until she stacked enough followers to snag a better guy. Real heartwarming stuff, you know? Like a Disney villain with a Wi-Fi connection. Apparently Ava's parents had to come over to drag her off the porch. Their mom was crying, their dad was yelling. It was a full-on soap opera, minus the laugh track. Sophie even recorded some of it on her phone just in case Ava decided to go nuclear. Over the speaker, I could hear Ava shrieking like a banshee. You're all just jealous. Sophie's jealous because she's fat and ugly. Mom's jealous because she's old. And Dad's just mad because his perfect little girl isn't so perfect anymore. Then she started bragging about how much money she was making on OnlyFans. Her dad sounded like he was going to hurl. Her mom just kept whispering, where did we go wrong? It was like watching a train wreck in 4K. Sophie stayed on the phone with me through most of it, the two of us just listening in horror as Ava went full meltdown mode. Later that night, I started getting a barrage of nasty texts from Ava herself. Hope you're happy with my fat sister. You'll regret this when I'm famous. Jill says you're just intimidated by strong women. Have fun being poor and ugly. Right. Cool. Thanks for the pep talk, future influencer of the year. What happened to the girl I fell in love with? Seriously, it was like she'd been replaced by some dollar store reality star. Next morning, I got on the phone to start cleaning up the wedding mess. Called the venue lady, and you know what? She was actually amazing. Didn't even make me explain everything in detail. I just said my fiancé was unfaithful, and she sighed like she'd heard that one a million times. She managed to get half our deposit refunded, which honestly felt like winning the lottery after the week I'd had. Figured that would be the end of it. But of course, Ava couldn't let me have one single peaceful moment. Turns out she actually called the venue herself, pretending we were still together, demanding they send the refund to her instead. Unbelievable. Luckily, the venue already had my lawyer's info on file and shut that nonsense down cold. So yeah, decided right then to use that money to hire a lawyer. I wasn't about to take any chances after everything blew up. So I put that lawyer retainer to good use, making sure Ava couldn't try to grab a piece of the house or dip into my savings. Good move, too, because apparently she'd been running her mouth to everyone about how I owed her for all the time and effort she put into planning the wedding. Effort? You mean the effort she put into scamming dudes with bathtub selfies while trash-talking me behind my back? Yeah, okay, princess. She even tried saying I should reimburse her for her dress. You know, the dress she picked out and stuck on my credit card through a payment plan. Classy. I had to call up the bridal shop myself, explain the whole meltdown, and block her from putting another dime on my account. Meanwhile, Sophie has been an absolute legend. She helped me cancel all the other wedding stuff, even called some of the guests for me, so I didn't have to keep repeating the same humiliating horror story. Ava's parents, to their credit, have been weirdly supportive. They keep thanking me for not blaming the whole family for Ava's train wreck of choices, which, honestly, is more than I expected. Ava, though, she's like the final boss of denial. Tried showing up at the house a couple times, just sitting in her car outside like a stalker in a Lifetime movie. I actually had to call the cops once when she wouldn't leave. They talked her into driving off, but something tells me she'll try again. Because of course she will. A couple weeks later, I started hearing updates through mutual friends. Apparently, Ava's influencer dream? Yeah, shocker, not going so well. Turns out there's a million fitness accounts out there, and most of them aren't busy scamming dudes for their rent money. And Jill, that inspirational snake oil saleswoman who started this circus? She actually kicked Ava out after, 2 weeks. Sophie heard through their cousin that Ava and Jill had a massive fight because Ava wasn't pulling in enough cash from her account. Jill told her she was bad for business. Talk about loyal female empowerment, right? So Ava's been couch surfing since then, bouncing around like a discount motivational speaker nobody wants to host. Funny how all those gym friends who hyped her up about being too good for me mysteriously vanished the second she needed a place to stay. She even tried to move back in with her parents, but that lasted all of 3 days. Her dad couldn't even look at her after seeing what she'd posted online, and her mom begged her to see a therapist. Ava's response: screamed something about nobody understands my vision, and stormed out. Last week, I even got some texts from her. The first text from Ava popped up like a ghost jump scare on my phone. I miss you. I made a mistake. Can we talk? Please answer me. I've changed. I didn't even flinch. Nothing. It was like someone had flipped a switch in me, and all my feelings evaporated. Then came the next one, a full-on novella. I know I messed up. Nothing's working out like Jill said it would. I've lost all my real friends. My family hates me. I'm sleeping on some girl from the gym's couch. I miss our house. I miss our life. I miss you making me breakfast and watching stupid movies with me. Please just talk to me. Dead. Cold. That was me. Zero emotion left. I didn't even type a reply, just stared at the screen like it was spam. Sophie kept me in the loop, too. She showed me Ava's social media, which was basically a tragic wasteland now. All the cheesy boss babe and empowerment posts? Gone. Replaced with sad girl quotes about regret and mistakes. The motivational nonsense had turned into a pity party highlight reel. She'd lost most of her followers, too. Turns out people can smell fake from a mile away. Shocker. Apparently, she'd even tried to get a real job, but yeah, newsflash. When you've turned half the guest bathroom into a thirst trap studio, employers kind of notice. Who knew? Everyone knew. And then one of her gym ex-friends hit me up last week, out of nowhere. Hey man, just so you know, Ava's telling everyone you abused her and forced her to start an account. Nobody believes her, though we all saw how she acted. Sorry you went through that. Like what? I literally didn't even know about the damn account until Sophie sat me down with the receipts. But sure, twist it around. Make me the villain, because Ava's moral compass is apparently stuck spinning like a broken fan. Then she really cranked the cringe to 11. Showed up at my work. Just standing in the parking lot, staring at the front doors until security had to escort her out. My coworkers were all like, dude, what is happening? So I had to give my boss the world's weirdest explanation in case she tried a repeat performance. And apparently she's been hitting up her mom at 3 a.m., sobbing about how she threw away the only good thing in her life. Sophie told me their mom was totally heartbroken, but even she was like, yeah, you did. Too little, too late. Can't unring that bell, princess. Through all of it, though, the chaos, the canceled wedding, the humiliations, Sophie and I started spending more time together. At first, it was just therapy-level vent sessions, talking each other through the Ava apocalypse, helping each other deal with all that drama. After everything, Sophie and I just sort of fell into this rhythm. Started grabbing coffee together on weekends, then it turned into grabbing dinner, then catching a movie here and there. It was months before either of us even thought to call it dating. It just felt like two people trying to stay sane after the nuclear meltdown of Ava. There was no pressure, no expectations, just real. Sophie is real. No fake smiles for likes, no forced selfies with a motivational quote slapped on them, no pretending to be something she's not. She laughs at my dumb jokes, asks about my code even when it's boring as hell, and doesn't care that I'm not some photoshopped Instagram hero. First time I realized I was catching feelings? We were on my couch, half watching this dumpster fire Netflix show with acting so bad it should be illegal. Sophie was roasting it so hard I was crying from laughing, and I looked at her, like really looked, and just thought, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like. We talked about it, too. A lot. For weeks. Both of us worried it might look shady, or people would think we were rebounding or trauma bonding or whatever. Finally one night, Sophie just looked at me and went, Sophie, look, Ava's gonna hate us no matter what. We might as well be happy. And she was right. Of course, Ava found out, because of course she did, through her cousin's Instagram. I'm pretty sure her head exploded. She started mass texting everyone in the family about how Sophie and I had been secretly together the whole time, how we planned it from day one like some trashy soap opera. But Sophie's parents? Absolute legends. Her dad literally told Ava, "Dad, maybe if you hadn't treated them both so badly, this wouldn't have happened." That was the final straw for Ava. She blocked them all after that. Classy move. It's been 6 months now. Sophie moved in last month, and we did it right. No rushing, no games. She actually helps around the house, by the way, unlike Ava, who used to pose with a Swiffer for clout and then leave me to finish the job. We cook together, go hiking, binge dumb shows, normal couple stuff. But Ava? Oh, she can't help herself. She fired up Instagram again and posted this melodramatic rant about some people will betray you in the worst ways with a bunch of snake emoji. Sophie just laughed when she saw that snake emoji meltdown from Ava and went, "Sophie, guess she finally looked in a mirror." Savage. I loved it. But Ava couldn't stop there. Oh no, she had to take one last shot. Messaged me, full of venom. "I hope you're happy with my leftover sister. Just remember she'll never be as hot as me. You downgraded, and everyone knows it." Sophie read it over my shoulder, shook her head, and goes, "Sophie, wow. She really thinks being a decent human being is downgrading. Huh. That's what I love about Sophie. She doesn't let this crap get to her. No insecurities, no desperate need for 10,000 strangers to tell her she's pretty. She knows who she is. Period. We're even planning a camping trip next month. Just us, some tents, no phones, no social media. Real life. Like, actual human connection. Who would have thought?" Sometimes I look back and think how insane it is that Ava's betrayal, this absolute dumpster fire, somehow led me straight to someone so much better. Sophie says maybe we needed Ava to show us what we didn't want in life, so we could actually appreciate what we do want. And you know what? She's right. We're really, genuinely happy. And sometimes the best things in life come from the worst. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments section below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.